Should I buy a home now in 2024 or continue to wait? The answer to this question is going to change for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're living in San Antonio, Live Oak, Texas, Converse, Texas, or any other San Antonio suburb for that matter. The answer is not one size fits all. So today I'm just going to answer this question in a pros and cons format and let you decide your best option to purchase a home. Let's get started. The first consideration I want to talk about today is inventory. Inventory is up. If you've been following the channel, you know we've seen more and more inventory sitting in the San Antonio real estate market than we've seen in a long time. Yet, with that in mind, we're still in what's considered a seller's market at the time of recording this video. You can check out my latest housing market report and see where that stands at the very beginning of the video. I'll leave a card right here for you. So, with inventory being up, we have more opportunities for home buyers to make better quality decisions without feeling too rushed in making a home purchase. If you're considering buying a home, I'm putting this one in the pros category. The second consideration I want to talk about is interest rates, which have been up since last year. This elevated level of interest rates has scared off many home buyers and locked in many home sellers who were previously looking to buy another home. Home buyers have watched their buying power deteriorate ever since interest rates started rising. And to no one's surprise, higher interest rates may land into the cons category if you're wondering if you should buy a home now. The third consideration I want to talk about is lower competition in the housing market. And you can thank higher interest rates for that. Right now, homes are taking well over 60 days to get sold here in San Antonio market. This lower competition is leading to another pro that we're going to talk about in a few minutes, but it's definitely something to consider if you're on the sideline. Think back to the pandemic years when homes were basically selling in a matter of hours and buyers were jumping in with both feet and throwing everything they had at any house that even resembled a close match to something that they might be interested in. That's not the case right now. Competition has subsided greatly. Yes, homes can and still do have multiple offers on them, but only if the home is just an exceptional value with every amenity that you can think of that is wanted in that price range. Definitely a consideration I'm putting in the pros category. The fourth consideration when thinking about whether or not you should buy a home now is general uncertainty in the United States due to it being an election year and global tensions. No one knows what's actually in store when it comes to uncertainty. We don't know what's going to happen next year or the year after that, but we do have a general idea of what is going to happen in the short term. So every home buyer has to make their own decision about how uncertainty in the market might affect them, and if their income is something that may be tied to that uncertainty. And your ability to pay for a mortgage, if you need one, definitely something to take into consideration, and what you would do if you needed to switch jobs or lost your job. So uncertainty in the marketplace and in general is something I'm definitely putting in the cons category. The fifth consideration is assumable mortgages. Homes purchased with FHA, VA, and USDA mortgages are by law assumable by subsequent qualified buyers. With an assumption, you as the buyer can buy the home and keep the existing mortgage in place. This means you would be inheriting a mortgage in the range of 2 to 4%, with the remainder of years left on the mortgage. For instance, if the seller bought a home in 2020 on a 30-year note at 2.5%, you would inherit a payment at 2.5% for about 26 years. So if you missed out on the dirt cheap mortgages offered throughout the pandemic, Now is the time to not only watch for assumable mortgages hitting the market, but to find them off market. Why? Because off market homes are currently a unique opportunity with the number of assumable mortgages and homeowners unaware of their marketability. If you're interested in how to find off market homes, check out my perfect home finder video right here. Consideration number 6, high inflation. Right now, inflation is still high, and we're seeing signs currently that it may in fact continue to persist through 2024. This has led the Federal Reserve backing away from its plans of cutting interest rates sooner, and maybe not even in 2024. We don't really know, so we've seen analysts reforecast their predictions for lower interest rates based on the high inflation numbers that we continue to see. So with that in mind, buyers have to consider carefully if inflation is impacting them in a way that is going to hurt their abilities to make a payment on a home at this time. Definitely something that we're going to put in on the cons category. Consideration number 7, sales terms. Sales terms are often overlooked benefit that home buyers miss out on when faced with higher interest rates. A lot of home buyers simply throw in the towel when interest rates rise rather than revisiting the best practices to use to their advantage when it comes to sales terms. For instance, home builders have continued to be able to sell homes in a high interest rate environment by offering major sales incentives to buy down interest rates temporarily, even permanently, because it is actually cheaper for the builders and even resale homeowners to offer major incentives to buy down the interest rate rather than lowering the price. A lot of home buyers are fixated on price rather than terms. Terms can actually be a much bigger benefit to buyers in the long run if done properly. This takes us back to number 5 when considering loan assumptions. Loan assumptions are a sales term that doesn't fit everyone, but nevertheless, it does allow for an advantage to the home buyer and even the seller. So I'm definitely putting better sales terms as a pro in the current real estate environment. And finally, consideration number 8 is job security. And this one could be a pro or a con depending on who you are and what kind of job security you have. You're going to want to answer some questions here to fit your own unique situation. Is your industry shrinking or growing? Is demand rising or falling for your industry? Consider our number 4 consideration, uncertainty in the United States. Is there a disruptor coming into your industry, or are you the disruptor in the industry? What does that look like for you? So definitely this could be in either category, pro or a con, depending on your answer here. This could tip you over into a stronger buying position or into a position where you might want to err on the side of caution. So should you buy a home now in 2024 or wait? Well, ultimately it depends on your individual circumstance and priorities. Consider the pros and the cons we've discussed today, from increased inventory and lower competition to concerns about interest rates and uncertainty in the market. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. Take the time to evaluate your situation carefully and make the decision that's best for you and your future. Until next time, bye for now.